Hello everyone. Today I want to talk about what's been happening in the world. Because there's been a lot of things happening. It feels like in the past few weeks we've really had a push forwards in energy when it comes to people all over the world organizing themselves and pushing for a better future. I mean, like the big one that's on everyone's minds is obviously what's been happening in Nepal, where a group of young people called Gen Z basically overthrew their government in just 2 days and set fire to their parliament, causing the government to basically dissolve itself. They then proceeded to elect their interim prime minister on Discord, and the army of Nepal actually backed the election of the new interim prime minister from Discord, and now Nepal has the first ever female prime minister. And all of this happened in just the space of a few days. Anyway, a lot of people are calling our generation the unserious generation and making fun or even celebrating the fact that an entire group of young people could basically overthrow their government in a few days and also just make memes and like dance on TikTok and Instagram whilst they were doing it. I mean, there's literally been so many videos of Gen Z just doing dances or like lighting cigarettes from the fire of the parliament or just otherwise just being unserious whilst overthrowing their government. And whilst looking at everything that's going on in Nepal, I kind of was just thinking of that phrase, "If I can't dance, I don't want to be part of your revolution," which a lot of people think originated from Emma Goldman, but apparently doesn't. Apparently it never actually appears in any of her work and was invented by anarchist printer Jack Frager in 1973. Anyway, whoever came up with this phrase, I feel like it perfectly encapsulates my feelings and also obviously a lot of other young people's feelings about how we want to go about making this world a better place. Like, if we can't have fun whilst we're doing it, then I feel like that kind of defeats the point of trying to create a better world. Anyway, looking at all that's been going on in Nepal has been super inspiring. I feel like a lot of people are kind of saying like, oh, this could only happen in Nepal, it couldn't happen anywhere else, like those kind of memes. Why couldn't it happen elsewhere? Sure, it probably wouldn't just take 2 days if the same was to happen somewhere else, but I feel like there is a possibility in all countries for people to get organised and enact change that they want to see. There's a common statistic that gets thrown around a lot. I think it's 3.5%. Apparently, if 3.5% of people want a change and get organised, they can actually enact that change. Anyway, aside from Nepal, there's been a bunch of other stuff happening as well around the world. There's been a bunch of protests in Indonesia. And then in France, there was the Block Everything protests happening, which in usual French fashion have also caused quite a lot of chaos. And then here in the UK, we've had even more PAL action protests. So people defying the terrorist ban on the direct action group PAL Action. And basically the police can't keep up. There was so much going around, like so many videos of like policemen hiding their faces because they were ashamed of actually making these arrests.
What is he being arrested for?
Section 13 of the Terrorism Act.
And what's the penalty for that?
I'm not sure about the punishment.
And do you think this is a good use of police time? Do you think this is an act of terrorism?
I'm not going to comment.
I feel like it's definitely troubling quite a few of these policemen and women that they're literally arresting like 90-year-old women for holding up signs. Unfortunately, on the other side of this in the UK, we've also had quite a lot of, I wouldn't call them protests, more like mobs of right-wing fascists protesting against refugees, putting up English flags everywhere. According to a news article recently, there was a mob of 110,000 people, part of this sort of right-wing racist group marching in London. And according to the same news article, there was only 5,000 people in the counter-protest. I feel like this number is just propaganda though. I saw this reel on Instagram as well, which was basically showing what the anti-fascist, like anti-racist side of the protest was actually like, and there are a lot of people there, like tens of thousands. So once again, the BBC and other media in the UK are trying to cover up the fact there is actually a large and growing leftist movement. Overall, there's clearly like a lot of energy bubbling up under the surface across the world. Like, people are actually getting to the point of fed up. And I haven't even talked about like the US because that's a whole shit show on its own. But one thing I didn't talk about yet, which I want to, is the other recent thing happening in the UK. Unfortunately, it has already descended into a bit of a shambles, but it was the sudden movement behind getting a proper socialist party going. This party was called Your Party. It was co-founded by two of our MPs, Jeremy Corbyn, who is quite well known, and Zara Sultana, who's also becoming quite well known. And they both decided to form this new party called Your Party. which was supposed to be a very grassroots-led socialist party, and they had like hundreds of thousands of people signing up. And just a few days ago, they launched a membership portal, and within the space of a few hours, like 20,000 people had already signed up for membership of this new party, which is quite a lot in such a short span of time. People were really like geared and primed to support this, to give it their all, to actually try and build more of a grassroots democracy. They were going to do like local assemblies and have like grassroots consultations and stuff like that. Unfortunately, the party already has a lot of drama with infighting, with like a split between the co-founders and like a few other MPs who are now part of it, with Zara Sultana, the younger female MP, having launched the membership portal herself without waiting for the approval of the other 5 MPs, which are Jeremy Corbyn and 4 other male MPs. And a few hours later, they sent out an email back saying that the launch of the memberships was unauthorised and not to pay into it. And it caused a whole chaos and drama all over the internet, like people not knowing where their money had gone, like if they should cancel the membership, if they should still keep supporting it, what was going on, why like the founders of this new party were already infighting. And yeah, just not a good look, really. Which is a shame, because people are clearly desperate for change, are desperate for something to put their energy into, and for most of these people, the current system of elections is the only solution, so having like a real socialist party is the best way for them to put that energy into. Obviously, I don't really believe in party politics anyway, because I'm an anarchist, so I just feel like we should just organise ourselves like from the ground now. Why wait to do it through a party? But you know, in terms of this being quite like a mainstream solution, it was still a good leap forward. I would be very happy living under that kind of a government rather than where we're heading towards right now, which is far-right reform government, which is not looking good at all. People are now half turning back to the Greens, half not really knowing what to do. Our Green Party as well, which is another leftist party, has also just got a new leader called Zach Polanski, who is very forwards thinking, who's actually driving the Green Party quite a lot and giving it a bit more of a backbone, which is good. Like, they've had an increase in memberships recently. I still don't really think the answer lies in party politics. So I encourage people who were very invested in the whole Your Party thing and now like feel let down or like don't really know what to do because they've been disappointed yet again by MPs to actually turn to just starting to organise in their communities, like from the grassroots themselves. You don't need to wait for a party to arise to do that. You can create your own local assemblies, you can start to join like your local community projects, you can create new projects if you don't have many in your area. Obviously it takes a lot of time and labour, but there will be people in your communities, in your local communities at the grassroots level, who are interested in different things, who want to enact positive change in their communities, so you can start small and build it from there. You know, whether that's creating a tool library, starting like a carpooling thing, starting a little volunteer repair workshop once a month, fixing things for people for free, starting a community farm or just joining a community farm, doing some guerrilla gardening. Like, there's so many different things you can do. And in terms of general organising, if you find like-minded people, you start to create like local people's assemblies and start to make decisions in your community, not having to go through the elective system and the local councils or the stage above that. We've seen this can work in other countries, right? Like in Nepal, the young people had just had enough. They just fucking did it. They just overthrew their government in 2 days. That's crazy. People do have the power to just get on and do things themselves. Like, we don't need to wait around for MPs to get their shit together and sort out a socialist party, wait to the next elections, da-da-da-da-da. Like, just do what you feel like needs to happen in your community. If you can, if you have time, labour. Obviously, most people under this current cost of living crisis don't have any free time, don't have any capital, so it is really hard to do those things. This society, like capitalism, has given us such a feeling of powerlessness. We have to wait for our politicians to do things for us. No, we don't. We can just do shit ourselves. We can just go and create the change we want to see. Even just being a good neighbour, getting to know the people on your street, in your neighbourhood, in your town, starting to create local gift economies through mutual aid, giving things for free without expectation of having a trade or like money back for it. We'll start to create more of a community of trust. We'll start to create like local gift economies where people just do shit and help each other out for free without having it to have a financial benefit. Although this might seem like a loss to yourself at first, the more you do it and the more you build that, the more other people are likely to join in too, and suddenly everyone will be benefiting. There's this thing I learned about recently called anarchist calisthenics. It's basically about small everyday rule breaking, so doing practices that resist authority. I don't mean in like big ways that are going to send you to jail. I mean more like in just tiny everyday ways. Just break dumb rules that you don't agree with, basically. Embrace revolutionary optimism. The energy is out there for creating a better world, for doing prefigurative politics, for creating the change we want to see. We don't have time anymore to just dither around, and I think that's why everyone was so frustrated with the whole Your Party thing. Like, it felt like we were finally getting some hope, finally getting some action. Like, it all happened quite quickly. We are sliding in the UK, especially as a country, towards fascism, towards more hatred, more division. And people finally saw Your Party as a solution to that, and were excited for actually shit happening, like change happening. And obviously that's already been corrupted by infighting and basically gone to shambles at this point. I mean, I don't know, the party might still continue existing, but the movement behind it has sort of floundered because people are concerned. The energy is clearly there for change. All of those people who were like getting involved in the party, signing up, like the hundreds of thousands of people, they could just take that energy, that same hope, that revolutionary optimism, and just put it directly into their communities right now. Start to create change at the grassroots level. I know it's harder than following a party. I know it's like more energy, it's more effort, but we need change. We need to stop the far right from gaining more power. That's not just in the UK, that's in a lot of countries, like even in other countries in Europe. Let's not even touch on the US because that's already slid so far down into far right fascism. Be inspired by the energy currently taking place around the world, whether that's from Nepal, from France, or from left-wing movements in the UK, in Indonesia, anywhere, wherever. If you can, if you are using social media, try and get that on your feed. A lot of the time people just spend their time on social media like doom scrolling. I've been trying to curate my feed to make it filled with revolutionary optimism, to inspire myself. So when I am doom scrolling, I'm actually doom scrolling through things that are subconsciously inspiring me to create that change. Anyway, that's it for this video, guys. I just wanted to touch a bit on all the stuff I feel like's been happening recently in the world and the rising energy for change and for creating a better world, a more solar punk world. I hope you're all doing good. And yeah, let me know if there's anything you've been up to recently in the comments that have helped to create positive change in your community or online or wherever else you like to put your energy into. Or let me know if you've got any opinions about any of the things happening in the world right now. See you in the next one. Bye!